1 minute.
Mr. Scrima's own editorial said this is not about radium compliance or water quality. He is incorrect. It is about both of those things. He said in his editorial, we have other alternatives to Lake Michigan water which would better protect Waukesha's identity and independence. I resent him saying that I'm trying to advocate for Milwaukee. I have averaged 10 hours a day for 4 years, always advocating for the city of Waukesha. And when he attacks me, I can accept that. I'm the mayor, I'm used to getting attacked. But he's also attacking our city administrator, our water utility general manager, our county executive who supports this position, the Waukesha County Chamber of Commerce, and the rest of the business community that are part of this Sustainable Water Coalition. There's a reason that all of these groups agree this is the best option, and I find it worrisome that 2 weeks before this election, my opponent has changed his position.
Before we leave the subject of water, we've received 2 audience questions on the subject. The first I'll ask of Mayor Nelson. Why is there such a hurry for the vote on water before the new council is sworn in and potentially a new mayor is sworn in?
The hurry is the 2018 deadline. Our original timeline was to unveil our application in December and have a vote in March. That was before we even knew who the candidates for mayor and alderman would be. But when we found out from the DNR that they wanted some additional things in our application, we had to push things back. The decision on April 8th, which the current council has been dealing with for years, is just the first step. It's whether or not to move the application forward. If we don't move the application forward, we take Great Lakes water away as an option. It will be up to the new mayor and the new council to negotiate and sign off on a contract with Milwaukee, Racine, and Oak Creek. I would also tell you that 7 of the 8 Great Lakes governors that have been dealing with this issue for years and signed the compact will be leaving office next January because of term limits or deciding not to run. We feel the best decision will be made by these governors of both parties who have been dealing with this for years, and also if we know by the end of this year or early next year whether we're successful or not, we can move forward in meeting that 2018 deadline. Otherwise, we'll move forward with our Plan B, which is shallow wells in Waukesha County.
Mr. Scrima, 1 minute.
Yes, it's been described to me by a number of people high up in different layers, different levels of government, that the reason that we're pushing so hard right now is because the political stars are in line, so to speak. We have Mayor Nelson, who's good friends with Mayor Barrett, they're both also good friends with Governor Doyle, and they feel like they'll get consensus among the 8 Great Lake governors as well. The fact of the matter is that the city of Waukesha can apply for Great Lakes water at any point in the future. We're not running out of water. I asked that question to Dan Dukniak, and he was reported in Friday's Freeman as saying, quote, "Our answer was we are not going to run out of water 30 to 40 years from now. We probably won't run out of water 100 years from now." It's also important to note that we are capable of removing radium. We're already doing it. 2 of our deep wells have radium removal devices. These wells are in operation. These wells we are drinking from. So yes, we do have a 2018 deadline, but we do have other options.
Another audience question on water, and then we may move to some other subjects. This is a question that was posed to Mr. Scrima. Why not proceed with Great Lakes water application while still proceeding with other options? Worst case is we get approval and have the time for additional tests and don't end up using the lake water.
Sure. There's nothing wrong with us moving forward with the approval. What I've said from day one is that we should say no to any additional strings that would be attached to the deal, and we should know all long-term costs up front. Again, there are major issues, major questions that have not been answered in this deal that will affect every citizen of this city. We're already the highest tax city in the county. If our water rates double, triple, quadruple, you know, that comes off of all of the people that live here. I just want to also point out that back in 2007, and I'm quoting the current mayor from something that he wrote, he said, "Once we can envision regional cooperation on water, the next logical issue would be addressing the long-needed action on transportation." Again, he's been an advocate of becoming one with Milwaukee from day one. Even the Journal quoted him December 11, 2009, saying, "The future of Waukesha is tied to Milwaukee, and vice versa." We need to think very carefully before we move forward on a deal with Milwaukee. Is it an option? Yes, it's an option. It's not our only option. The citizens need and deserve to know the exact costs and implications of this deal. Dan Dukniak himself told me a number of times, because I've met with him one-on-one, and asked him numerous questions. He has told me many times, "Jeff, you have helped our negotiating position should we get Milwaukee water." Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for being in the race to ask the tough questions. You have put the city of Waukesha in such a better position to get a better deal on Milwaukee water. That has always been my intent. I've always realized it is an option. I've always said that. But I'm looking out for what's best for this city. I'm not trying to be mayor of the region or the county or Milwaukee County. I'm representing what's best for the citizens of the city of Waukesha. Thank you.
I hope someone will talk to Dan Dukniak to find out if that quote is accurate, because my opponent never took the time to meet with Dan Dukniak until after the primary, when Dan invited him to come in and meet. When I talked about regional transit, I talked about my collaboration, which I'm very proud of, with County Exec Scott Walker and County Exec Varakis to eliminate transfer fees between Milwaukee and Waukesha. That has benefited people in both communities. The truth is, my opponent has harmed our potential negotiations with Milwaukee by attacking them and basing his campaign on fear, because why would Milwaukee want to negotiate with a mayor who has spent his whole campaign bashing them? To say that I haven't strongly advocated for the city of Waukesha every single day that I've been in office is simply wrong, it's untrue, and it's an example of the unfair attacks that my opponent has levied on me, city staff, this chamber, the county exec.
Okay, moving on to a new subject. Taxes and spending. We have a question from the audience that mirrors the next question. This is a question for both of you. It's Mary Nelson's turn to be first. Okay. Waukesha's tax levy has increased an average of 5% in each of the past 4 years. Mayor Nelson says that's a record he's comfortable defending. Mr. Scrima says it's too high. Please give details, Mr. Mayor, how efficiency has been achieved, or Mr. Scrima, what waste specifically can be eliminated.